Alright, Shalom, Yasharala. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh Bashim Shai. As always, Yahweh is the Heavenly Father. His name means He is or He exists, He is to be. Okay, and Yahweh Shai is who the world calls Jesus Christ, and His name means He is the deliverer. Okay, now He's come back to deliver the children of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Native American Indians of today. Okay, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to all you sincere Akim that are pushing the work of Yahweh Shema Shai throughout the four corners of the earth in sincerity and in truth. Okay, now I just wanna read a little bit here about the faith. If we were to have as a people, okay, as a nation, if we were to have the type of faith that Daniel had towards the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai and the belief that he had, we would not be in this condition that we are in today. Okay, now again, everything happens for a reason. Everything is according to Yahweh Shema Shai's plan. This is his movie. Okay, but just just to show you that if we did not worship other gods, okay, if we did not basically give them honor, and we only worship Yahweh Shema Shai, we would be in a better state right now. Okay, but because of that reason, we are in the condition that we're in today is because we ignored the Lord and we started serving other gods and so on and on as a people. Okay, now the elect, they've always kept their faith toward the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, and they do today. That's why in the scriptures in the book of Isaiah chapter 1 verse 9, it says that except if the Lord did not leave us a small remnant, we should have been like Sodom or like unto Gomorrah, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, so if it's not for the elect's sake, okay, we would all be wiped out, starting with Yahweh Shai. If it was not for Yahweh Shai, we would not be here today, man. Okay, but just to show you that this is an example of the type of faith that our people had. Daniel in the book of in Apocrypha, in the story of Bel and the dragon, and I'm gonna read it and just to kind of show you how Daniel was pretty much almost forced to worship Bel, and the dragon, these other heathenistic gods. But he pretty much scoffed at him, man, and told him that, hey, man, your gods ain't shit, man, okay? I serve Yahweh Shema Shai who made the heavens and the earth. Okay, so if we were to do that today and ignore, everything that the so-called white men, basically shoves in our faces and only focus towards Yahweh Shema Shai as a people, okay, the Lord would have came, man. Okay, by now, the Lord would have delivered us. But because of, prophecy's sake, two-thirds of our people are going to deny the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, but this is in the book of Bel and the Dragon in the Apocrypha. I'm just going to start from verse 2. Okay, it says, and Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends. Now the Babylonians had an idol called Bel, and there was spent unto him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. So they had a lot of pretty much food for this god, okay, for this idol that they called Bel, okay, which was just made up, okay, it was made with hands, okay, but Yahweh Shema Shai made the earth, man. So it just goes to show you that these people, they create something and then they worship it, man. It doesn't make any sense. How do you worship something as if they're above you, but you're the one who created it? It doesn't make any sense, man. Okay, but it says right here, now the Babylonians had an idol called Bel, and there were spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine, and the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. So he was in love with this god, man. Okay, because it was his order, probably, to create that idol. Okay, so he worshipped it, man, and he adored it, meaning that he loved it. Okay, and it said, but Daniel worshipped his own God, who was what? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That's who Daniel worshipped. Although Daniel, was put, at a high state, okay, he did not, deny the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai because, because a lot of our people today, when they get that power from the so-called white men, they gotta sell their soul, okay, and then they forget about the Lord, and then now they worship the devil, Satan. But Daniel, although he was, at a higher position, he did not worship the gods of these other heathenistic nations. Okay, he worshipped Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, and it says, and the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. daily to adore it. But Daniel worshipped his own God. And the king said unto him, Why doest not thou worship Baal? Who answered and said, Because I may not worship idols made with hands. And that's the point right there, is that these idols, that these heathens worship are all made with hands. These are things that they've created because they don't believe in the Lord Yahweh Shemashah. Okay, they don't believe that the power comes from the Lord, man. Until the Lord shows his power, then they get all scared. But Daniel said that he's not worshiping them because he does not worship, gods made with hands. Okay? Because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living God who hath created the heaven and the earth and had sovereignty over all flesh. Okay, now let me get a precept for that. About how the living God who created the heaven and the earth. This is in the book Salakia. This is in the book of Psalms chapter 96 verse 5. It says, For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord Yahweh made the heavens. Okay? So for all the gods of the other nations, pretty much are idols, but Yahweh made the heavens, meaning that he is the living power. Okay? These other heathenistic gods, you have to, you have to move them around, you have to clean it because, moth and rust, corrupts it. Okay? Showing you that there's no power in those things, man. Okay? But Yahweh Shai gave us life, man. Okay? He gave us that breath. Okay? But it says, For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Give unto the Lord Yahweh, O ye kindred of the earth of the people. Give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Bring an offering and come into his courts. O worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth. Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that shall not be moved. Salakia. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. Let the heavens rejoice, and let the earth be glad. Let the sea roar, and the fullness thereof. Let the field be joyful, and all that is therein. Then shall all the trees of the wood rejoice before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness, and the people with his truth. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is everything, man. That's what it's saying. Okay? Compared to, Baal. Baal ain't shit, man. And that's what Daniel was pretty much saying. I'm not going to worship gods made with hands, but the living power, which is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Alright? Now going back here in Baal and the dragon, okay? I'll start from verse 6. Then said the king unto him, Thinkest thou not that Baal is a living God, seeing thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day? Then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within and brass without, and did never eat or drink anything. So Daniel's pretty much, telling him, don't be stupid, man. Okay? Seeing that this is clay within and brass without, meaning that this is something that you guys have created and it has never eaten anything before. You guys just lied to yourself, man. Okay? So Daniel was scoffing at it and just laughing at him pretty much, man. Brushing it off. But verse 8, and it said, So the king was wroth and called for his priest and said unto them, If ye tell me not who this is that devoureth these expenses, ye shall die. So he pretty much said, okay, well, he considered what Daniel said and he got mad. And he told his priest, if you guys don't tell me who eats this food that we, pretty much prepare daily unto Bel, then you guys are gonna die. Okay? And it said, but if ye can certify me that Bel devoureth them, then Daniel shall die, for he hath spoken blasphemy against Bel. And Daniel said unto the king, let it be according to thy word. So Daniel was not afraid, to accept the consequences for what he said. Okay, because you got people today who are going to lie through their teeth just to get what they want, just because of fear, man. Okay, but Daniel was not afraid to die, by the statement that he made, that Bel does not eat or drink anything because he's just, brass within, and salaka, clay within and brass without. So basically saying that he was just created. Okay, so the king got upset and he said, if you guys don't tell me who devours, these expenses, then you're gonna die, because, Daniel was talking shit pretty much, that's what he was saying. And it says here, verse 10, now the priests of Bel were 70, beside their wives and children, and the king went with Daniel into the temple of Bel. So Bel's priest said, lo, we go out. But thou, O king, set on the meat, and make ready the wine, and shut the door fast, and seal it with thine own signet. And tomorrow, when thou comest in, if thou findest not that Bel hath eaten up all, we will suffer death, or else Daniel that speaketh falsely against us. And they little regarded it for under the table they had made a privy entrance, whereby they entered in continually and consumed those things. So they don't think that Daniel knew that, man. Okay, so they pretty much made a private entry, so then they and their wives and their children, went in, and they ate up all of those expenses, man. They ate up all of those food, they drank the wine, okay, at night when everyone was sleeping, okay, and they didn't think that Daniel knew that, so they were, pretty much okay with what the king said. Okay, if you guys don't tell me who does this, then you will die, or Daniel will die, okay? But, they did not regard it, it's like a regarded, that they made a private entry, man, okay? Verse 14, it said, when they were gone forth, the king set meats before Bel. Now Daniel had commanded his servants to bring ashes, and those they strode throughout all the temple in the presence of the king alone. Then went they out and shut the door and sealed it with the king's signet, and so departed. So Daniel is a smart man, okay? All through Yahweh Shai, he went and got ashes, and pretty much, he, I'ma spread, all around the place, okay? And then they closed it with the king's signet, okay? And then it says right here, now in the night came the priest with their wives and children, as they were wont to do, and did eat and drink up all. So the kings, so the priest, okay, and their wives and children, they went in and they ate everything, okay, and they drank everything. Now it says, in the morning betime, the king arose, and Daniel with him. And the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, yea, O king, they are whole. And as soon as he had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, great art thou, O Bel, with thee is no deceit at all. Then laughed Daniel, and beheld and held the king. And let me read that again. I'm kind of a little excited, so I'm just reading a little too fast. But it said, then laughed Daniel and held the king, that he should not go in, and said, behold now the pavement, and mark all those whose footsteps are these. And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. And then the king was angry, and took the priest with their wives and children, who showed him the privy doors, where they came in and consumed such things as were on the table, before the king slew them, and delivered Bel unto the Daniel Slakia. Therefore the king slew them, and delivered Bel into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple. Okay, so basically, Daniel proved his point that that the gods that you guys worship is nothing but an idol, man. But I worship Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, who created the heavens and the earth. Okay, so the king, was pretty much proof that what he was worshiping was, pretty much an idol. It was fake. It was not to be compared to a god, to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, man. Okay, but our people pretty much worship idols today, man. Okay, and they don't believe in the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Just like how the elect do. And if all of us had this, if all of us had the exact same faith toward Yahweh Bashim Yahushai like Daniel did, where he was able to pretty much accept death, in order to prove his point that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is a living power. If all of our people had that faith towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushai today, we would be in a better place than than in the condition that we're in right now, man. Okay, but I just wanted to I'm gonna read that just to show you, man, that one time this is the kind of faith that we had towards the Habashim Shai. But then now look at today, man. You got a lot of our people who are pretty much atheists too, man. Okay, they don't believe in the Lord. Okay, but because of the elect's sake, man, you guys are going to be brought back, man. Okay, but with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace to you, Akim, that are doing the work of Yahweh Bashim Shai throughout the four corners of the earth and sincerely in the truth. Okay, until next time, shalom.